In this video, we are looking at this A1 Pro from EV Peak. So the folks that have made some of the chargers that I've used over the years and had really good success with, now offering a little fancy touchscreen 100-watt, really small, compact, little interesting charger here. So we're in this video, we're going to get it out, we're going to go over all the features, we're going to show you how to use it and give it a test with some various batteries to see just how good is this little charger. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Troy. This is RoadsideRC. You'll tend to find me bashing or crawling or drifting or racing, plus doing product review videos and how-tos. Let's get started by seeing what's in the box. We have here part one of the charger with its little foldy screen. That's pretty cool. Here's the base that it clicks onto. We'll get into all that here in just a minute. We have a set of instructions, which is great. Couple leads here for charging. It looks like this is a XT60 to come off, and you can have a couple main power leads here. That might also be for the DC input back here at the back. That'll work as well. And we have the AC input cable. As we look at the charger here at first, a couple things we want to note. There's a USB-A and a USB-C right here on the side. And you can actually use these interchangeably. You can take this whole top part off and just use the bottom as a simple like USB charger. When you take this top off though, you can actually still use it as just the DC input alone. So if you have some other DC power supply that you typically carry around with you for some other reason, then all you need is this top little bit here. You can take the whole top little bit off, and that's all you need to charge your battery, because the output's here, DC input's here. You can leave this whole bottom piece at home. How cool is that? But this is nice if you do have the whole thing. Like for me personally, I would take this whole thing with me all the time. So having these USB-C and USB-A over here on the side is nice in case, for me, I want to charge a battery for my car, but I also want to charge, my cell phone, my cameras that I use, the batteries for it, whatever else that I may want to use that's USB-C or USB-A. I have that access over there. That's really nice. It's something that I personally value a lot when I'm looking at a charger. We're going to go ahead and hook up a battery. I have my Gens Ace. This is a 3S 1800. Typically going to use this one in a crawler, something like that. So main charge leads happen to be an XT60. So we will go ahead and hook that in there. And then my balance leads, which have clearly been drug on something over time. Okay, as I plug it in, you notice it immediately recognized it as a 3S LiPo. You can come in and actually change to the different functions. So this is something that people always want to know. Will it charge my lithium high voltage batteries? Yes, it will. We have lithium high voltage, lithium ion, good for transmitters and things like that. Nickel metal, LiPo, lithium iron as well. So we are in good shape. So if I put it to LiPo, because I plugged the balance port in, it recognizes it as a 3S. It immediately goes ahead and shows me here 3.9, 3.9, 3.9. So it shows me each one of the cells in the battery up to 6S. It will do a 6S battery. If I come in here and set the capacity of 1800, which is just the 1800 that's on the front here of the battery, it'll go ahead and automatically set it to a 1C charge rate, which is 1.8 amps. You take your milliamp hour over here and you divide it by 100, you get 1.8, and that's your charge rate at 1C. A lot of batteries can charge faster than a 1C, but this is usually a pretty safe way of going about it. What's really interesting then is that down here it has just simple buttons: charge, discharge, or storage. Now for me, I believe this charge, it doesn't say clearly in the manual, but I believe this charge is a balance charge, and that's what we're going to start with today. You have to hold that down just a little bit in order to get it started. It's not just a click. It now shows us that it's charging. It's giving us a percentage of battery of complete here. We can still see each of the individual cells down here. We can see that it thinks it's a LiPo 3S 1800 milliamp. It gives the time that it's been working, how much amperage it's putting into it, which is the 1.8 that we asked for, total battery voltage, and how much capacity it has put into it. If I switch the page here, it'll give me the resistance numbers of each battery. Click stop. It is stopped. You can see the amperage has gone to 0. It's not putting anything more back into it. If we come back here to home, I can just then change it to storage charge if I want by holding the storage. And then it's looking at that 3.9. It's now discharging at 0.42 amps, trying to get that back down to its target storage voltage. Nice little compact little charger. Seems pretty capable so far, but let's give it a bigger test. I have this CNHL 8200 milliamp hour 4S LiPo. This is going to require a whole lot more amperage from this little charger in order to get this thing going, and this is going to be a good test. Now, of course, the lead here will not plug in, which means we need to grab one of the things I lovingly refer to as an octopus. If you don't have one of these related to your charger, I highly suggest it. You can get the one input either in banana plugs or XT60 like I have here, and then on the other side, you can basically make it almost anything that you want. This is super handy. I have multiple of these that I keep on me at all times. I'm able to plug that in, plug this in over here. These ICs and XT90s are compatible. Plug in that balance port again. Because I already had it on LiPo, it shows LiPo, it shows all 4 cells at 3.87. Capacity is clearly different now. So we're gonna jump way over here. 8200 milliamp hour. That. So it's gonna try to do 8.2 amps at that battery. Let's hold this charge down. What I'm really curious here is, can it actually put enough? Can it actually get to that 8.2 amps? That's something that sometimes chargers actually struggle to get all the way up there. We're up to 6.4. It looks like it's going to top out at that 6 amps. It's also getting that battery there quite fast. We've already gone all the way up to 4.1. But it'll handle it. It'll handle all the way up to a 6S battery. Just know that with that 100 watts, it is going to eventually be limited based on the battery that you do. It'll still charge it. It'll charge any battery that you put at it, any capacity that you put at it. But if it can't get all the way up to that 1C charge rating, then it'll just take it a little bit longer. But maybe depending on what you're doing, that's completely fine. Now, if I want to test it with one of my RC Drift batteries, then obviously we need an adapter here. A lot of these hard case batteries don't come with plugs already built into them, so we have to have an adapter. Plug the main lead in. 3900 milliamp. And now this is one I'm going to just go ahead and let it charge, and I'm going to fast forward it for you. But this one starts out at 3.9. I want to check 2 things. I want to see when it actually is fully charged, what sound does it make, what notification does it give, and then what I'm going to do is actually measure the voltage across the cells and ensure that it is actually matching. What it says is 4.2 volts and charged is actually the same as the battery sees. Oh, there we go. So that worked pretty well. You can hear the little chime there at the end. 18 minutes total. But what was really interesting about that is, like 7 minutes in, the battery was at 4.2 for each cell. And then for some reason, it took it another 11 minutes before it was super happy that it was actually finished. So, you know, I mean, I'll do this honestly sometime personally myself. I'll see that the battery is almost charged, and as long as the 2 cells are pretty close together, I'll just literally just leave it alone and won't worry. I'll go ahead and pull it off the charger and go ahead and run it, and I won't wait until it gets that last little bit. Now it's interesting, now that I've hit stop on it, we can see the voltage is sagging down a little bit. It is actually like near freezing here in my garage, but it is 4.18 and 4.19. So what we're going to do now is pull it off the charger and actually put the voltmeter on it and make sure that the voltmeter agrees. So both cells, 4.18. So that is basically exactly what it said here. It said 4.18 and 4.19. And of course, one thing that folks are usually very worried about with any type of LiPo charging is how safe is this whole charger? What kind of protections and safety features does it have in it? Well, it has a whole section here. So if it sees the input voltage doesn't match, or is too high or is too low, it has a voltage limit And you can actually see that for a LiPo battery, it is 3.3 to 4.2 volts is what its limit is. So if you plug a battery in and you tell it it's a LiPo and it sees that per cell it's below 3.3 or above 4.2, it's gonna give you an error message. It has reverse connection, so obviously with an XT60 here, it's gonna be really hard to reverse it, but I have done this multiple times with these shorty batteries. Accidentally get these in backwards. It will select that, it'll notice that as you plug everything in, and it'll give you a warning and say go fix it. So that's great. If it sees any kind of connection fault here within either one of these ports, it will time out. I will have that, especially with balance ports. Sometimes I'll have one that's a little weak and it'll kick it out. If you have any kind of short within the battery, if it sees an abnormal voltage, if its motherboard, it's actually monitoring its individual temperature in here and says that its temperature is 64 degrees. If it sees that get too high, it will turn it off. It actually has an internal temperature limit here of 185. If it's been on for too long, it'll have a cutoff time there. You can even adjust that cutoff time if you would like. It has a capacity, so if you go past the capacity, and if it's monitoring the internal resistance of the battery if it sees any issues there. So this is pretty cool. That's about all that I would expect of the charger, and it actually does it all for you. And some of the things in here you can actually change. And the other thing, you've probably been hearing it, it has beeps. It has beeps all over the place as you do it. Honestly, here in person, it's not so bad, but I bet you on the camera are being kind of annoyed by that. Typically the cameras pick them up a lot, but you can actually come in here and turn the beeps off. So then you don't have to worry about that. Pretty happy with it. If you have any other questions that I didn't answer about this charger, please leave them down in the video comments and I will try to answer as many of them as I can. What's next for me is I'm going to continue to test this charger here at home, see if I can find any abnormalities or anything that kind of pops up unusual with it. But honestly, so far, I think the thing is pretty nice. I love the compact design. I mean, literally, if you're using a single port, travel charger, it fits in the palm of your hand. It's really pretty cool. And it can even come apart if you're just using the DC. You can just use the DC plug there. If you just need power, you can just use this part, or you can put them together. This may not be the charger that you want. I have tested a lot of chargers. I constantly test new chargers because I'm always kind of intrigued by them. There's a lot of times, depending on your use case, in which you might want a dual port charger instead of a single. I've actually tested and I use personally the EVP quad charger. That is the one that I leave at my house all the time. It's kind of my at-home workhorse. So if you are curious about any of these others, I have all these other videos in a playlist that'll be popping up over here to your right. And if you are curious and you want to pick up this charger itself, then there will be a link to it down in the video description where you can go and grab it. And I hope to see you in one of those videos. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.